On the northern borders of Indochina, at a small military outpost, 2 Chinese fighter planes are being loaded with ordnance. The pilots and navigators stand in the nearby hangar, getting a last-minute briefing. For easy listening, we have translated Russian language into American accents and Chinese into English accents. Chinese Senior Officer.
Gentlemen, I understand you have been sent in from a base near Shanghai. My only instructions are to supply you with detailed maps of Russian terrain that you are required to infiltrate. It will obviously be fraught with danger, even though this is a recce mission to find out what is going on. However, my brief was to also supply enough ordnance, so you have a fighting chance of getting out of there alive.
He hands them a large map. The air crews start studying it.
Normally, we only have scout planes here as that's our main purpose at this outpost.
The crews continue studying and pointing their way about the map and nod in agreement to each other. They say nothing more to the senior officer, as they are under eyes-only orders. They salute him, step forward and give him a solemn shake of his hand and walk over to their planes. They climb into their aircraft. Canopies close and the roar of the engines start up. With that, the ground staff pull away the chocks. They taxi to the runway and start their run up the runway, rotating up and away afterburners lit up. They climb radar. However, on their descent, a Russian radar station concealed deep into the snowy mountains picks up the 2 bleeps on their radars. Inside the Russian tracking station, the radar operator alerts everyone.
Target, sir. 2, sir. Descending rapidly, sir. Speed Mach 1. Range 3 kilometers downrange. Passed over approximately 3 seconds ago, sir.
Senior Officer.
Scramble the chase planes. Treat as hostile. Identify and destroy.
The controller starts giving the chase plane pilots details for their target, who are seated in their MiG-29s. The 2 Russian planes make haste and taxi up and away into the sky in pursuit of the Chinese aircraft. Flying much higher and faster than the Chinese aircraft, they are able to see far. Much lower and in the distance ahead, the Chinese pilots are unaware of the Russians' pursuit. Then the Russians make a visual contact with the Chinese craft.
Targets in sight. 2 fighter planes, flag unknown.
Controller orders weapons deployment.
Negative, sir. They have moved behind mountains.
We are closing on them. Just gotta get a visual for the lock-on around the mountains and over those plains.
The terrain to the plains ahead is riddled with rocky peaks. Weaving though the mountaintops, the gap is still closing. Back in the Chinese planes, buzzers go off in their cockpit as a weapons lock-on has lit up their displays. The Russian weapons have achieved a lock-on. Chinese realize they have company and bank away, steeply swerving left and right, trying to head for the plains, which was their target zone. The Russians fire heat seekers, but the skillful Chinese pilots keep jinking just in time, and the missiles miss. The Chinese planes start a steep climb, followed in hot pursuit by the Russians. The Chinese loop the loop, and at this point, the Russian pilots notice a dark mass ahead on the distant snowy plains.
Over there. See it?
Troop movements. Heading this way.
Looks like it. Let's let those Chinese guys in front take the heat. We'll tag along for now. Hold fire.
The Chinese planes head for the dark mass. Moments later, they are almost alongside the mass of Exentai soldiers.
They are not Russian.
Or American, one of those craft, alongside. Any ID on them?
Never seen anything like it, except in the movies.
They glance at each other through their
Movies. Can't be. Not aliens.
Whatever they are They look battle-ready. Let's see what the Russians behind do first. It's their turf.
The Chinese bank away rapidly. The Russian pilots are too amazed at the sight and keep looking down.
What are they?
I don't know. Orders are that nothing non-Russian allowed inside Russia. Use deadly force. Prime weapons.
Weapons primed.
Let's do it.
With that, they bank away steeply to the XN-TIE below.
Lock weapons on the escort craft. Fire at will.
But the escort's craft below pick up the aircraft's weapons, lock on. Two of the alien escort craft speed out sideways and send up an electromagnetic pulse wave upwards that jams the plane's electronics.
I can't pull up, weapons jammed.
Both fighters are stricken with no power and slam into the ground beside the XN-TIE soldiers. Debris showing the soldiers who immediately raise their shields, but keep marching. The explosions make the escort craft waver a little while hovering. The Chinese pilots, who have circled now, survey the scene.
They don't look human to me.
Nor me. We are going low, full-on machine guns. Aim at the troops. One run only.
But sir, we are only on a recce mission.
Our authorized ordnance says we are not here for a picnic. Where do you think they will go after Russia?
The Chinese border, sir.
Yeah, well then, let's try and slow them down. Follow me.
With that, they fly in low head-on machine guns. Up go the XN-TIE shield. But this time, the XN-TIE point their weapons skywards and fire at the craft. The flak is too intense, and both aircraft succumb to the overwhelming forces. Both aircraft plunge into the ground. One smashes into the alien forces. The other marching soldiers walk over the body's flames attached to them. The escort craft move in with a fine spray dousing the flames. Back at the Russian and Chinese border, all four aircraft have disappeared off radar screens.
They have all gone off radar, huh? Yes, sir. Looks like that. They look like they are all down. So take a look at this.
What's that?
Here, moving at about 8 kilometers.
Consistent with a huge troop movement. Are they heading this way? How long?
At that speed. Maybe 2 to 3 hours depending on logistics.
There is no time to call in reinforcements.
It's down to the Chinese now. Telegraph both Moscow and Beijing. In any case, they are gonna pick up on this from their outposts. Nevertheless, sound the alarm to evacuate after that. We just cannot hold off that many troops. Whoever they are. Make the vehicles ready. We have a 180-kilometer journey for the next base.
Yes, sir, right away.
Over at the Chinese outpost, they too have realized that they have lost their aircraft, and the XN-TIE troop movements have appeared on their screen too. A Chinese officer is on his radio.
Beijing coming, Beijing.
Beijing airbase receiving you.
High command.
Receiving you.
Please ID yourself.
This is Station Ice Dragon. Reporting massive troop movements. ETA approx 3 hours. The border will be compromised. I repeat, the border will be compromised. Request permission to evacuate.
There's a silence.
Permission granted. Leave a scorched earth only. Beijing will assume authority from here on in. Take your leave and make haste.